interesting conversations lately about early access to postpartum care and the changes that I'm seeing, and just even in a day. Last couple years, I've started seeing moms in postpartum 2 to 3 weeks after delivery, and initially wasn't necessarily doing that with C-section moms, and now doing that. And so much difference with moms from first delivery to, third delivery. Today, I had a mom 2 weeks after C-section, and then another mom that had waited the 6 weeks, and such a huge difference, both first-time moms, in just the atrophy that develops. And I think back, and it's tricky mentally too, because I had C-sections with both my kids, and again, it wasn't that long ago. I'm not that old. My oldest is about to turn 14, and the standard wisdom was you wait. And the standard wisdom was you don't do abdominal exercises in pregnancy. And we've basically flipped it on our heads and said, by doing that, are we essentially inducing atrophy in our pregnant moms and inducing atrophy in our postpartum moms? And so personally, it's hard to kind of wrap my head around, because I know that I've had such an issue even now, just like finding abs and things like that. And is there a causational relationship? I mean, who knows? But I can definitely tell you that, I wish I'd been given permission. I wish that had been standard wisdom back then, to start even just really basic activation. And again, I'm not trying to go rose-colored glasses here. Like, my first C-section sucked. I was in a lot of pain. I was swollen. I had mommy thumb and both my hands. It was not ideal. So was I in any situation to be like, yes, let me do the most perfect postpartum exercise ever? No, I was totally not in a situation to do that the first couple weeks, but probably I think by like week 3, more like closer to 4, I could have started to do something. And again, it's a regret I have, but I didn't know any better. That wasn't what we were taught to do. It was like, oh, don't do that. You've got to let things heal. But it's so different now. These moms, like 2 weeks postpartum, and I'm like, let's just get you connected. And when they're moving through those exercises, like, oh, that just feels good. I'm like, yeah, that's what we want. We want to integrate that back in. We don't want to develop this fear. You went through this major abdominal surgery and you developed this fear of doing something wrong. And I guess I kind of learned that the second time around. Your older kid really could give a crap whether you had a baby or not. They still want to be held and loved because they're two. And I think that experience was much different, because functionally I was doing much more because my 2-year-old didn't care. So, I mean, I guess the fast forward and the summary is it looks like earlier access to care and earlier movement and things like that, regardless of type of delivery mode. I think it's huge. I think it's a game changer. But I think we need to reach back to those moms of my vintage. And, if you have kids that are in that range, I would even say like 5 and up, you didn't get early access to care. You were told not to do anything. And if that's something that's still and here's the thing too, there's a lot of moms that still think that that's the case, that they're not supposed to do ab work. So we need to reconnect to the perimenopausal moms and get them caught up and give them the cliff notes on postpartum, because I feel like it's never too late. But yeah, this one's super personal for me, because I definitely have that FOMO of like, oh, that would have been really cool. I think my situation would have been different, but also being realistic that, yeah, my first delivery was a shit show. And yes, I would have gotten to it, but it might have been a little later than 2 weeks. So I don't know. I'm really curious. Those of you that are early postpartum now, like, are you getting early access to care? Is this something that's being taught to you, or is your OB like not mentioning it at all? And then for those of you guys that like, you have kids, middle school, elementary school, that sort of thing. Are you still wishing that is that area still tricky for you? Because I think it can be. So I don't know, be curious. Let me know. Hey, Andrea.